Hi, I'm Cash, and welcome back to Cash Talks Football, where we break down all the goals scored in the Premier League. And today we're doing Wolverhampton Wanderers against Fulham. There's a couple of moments I'm going to show you throughout this little highlights here. A couple of good things, especially the hold-up play here up front. I mean, this is absolutely fantastic. And now, when you're in this situation, you can see how exposed Wolves are on this one side. They're just 2v2 over here. All he's got to do is try to get the ball here. Now, there's also an important thing where you can see, look, he's already starting his outside run because he's touch tight to the line. So important that is if you want to create width for your team. Not so good here from Adama Traore because he's not wide enough. Trying to stretch them a little bit further, but yeah, what do we expect? Just because he crossed a couple of balls the other week and figured out that he can cross the ball instead of shooting. Yeah, let's see if he does the same this week. The answer's no. Yeah, but the hold-up play here is absolutely fantastic. And this is exactly what you'd want from your striker. But bringing two players towards him, and he manages to get it wriggle away. Now, that's a little poor there because I'm this firm believer that two players never win the ball, right? What you end up doing is you end up getting in each other's way because you're assuming the one player is going to win the ball. So you go, oh, he's going to get it, and he's assuming you're going to get it. So neither of the players end up winning the ball, and they let him get away quite easily. But you can see, look, no one's panicking. He's staying, hasn't started his run just yet. You can see, look, he's easy pass here. There's nobody. He can't step up as well. That's one of the other problems. If he steps up and this pass goes, he's just straight in on goal. If he doesn't step up, well, the pass goes, and then it goes in behind him. So he's damned if he does, and he's damned if he doesn't. He's just in one of those situations where the separation, and people talk about it being in the pocket, but the separation is just too far away from anyone to do anything, and there's no real cover, because the cover came in here, and he did something that was pretty good, to be fair. Knocks the ball away, bump, and now we're off. Look, started his run, and both players have got suckered in. He hasn't noticed the outside run. He's focused on the ball. This is where you've just got to go, right, he's pressuring the ball. I'm going to drop and cover for him. You both focus on the ball and you're both going to lose. So when one is covering, the other one's got to drop. You have to. You can't hold your line expecting it to be offside because there's two things that's going to happen. One, he's going to pass it and it's going to be onside. Two, he's going to dribble it and he doesn't have to pass it and he's onside. So you really want to start taking the space away because the space here is the dangerous area. This is the area that's a threat. You need to start dropping as fast as you can and hoping that these training pack can recover. If you try to pressure, you're going to lose. You've got to start dropping both players. Him probably faster because he really needs to cover because this guy wants to drop but still keep a little bit of pressure on the ball just in case his touch is bad and he gives it away and there's a way for him to intercept or do anything with the ball, right? Bump, but he doesn't. Do you see the problem there? Over he's come, left his man completely, and now he's having to go and cover for him. All it was a little shovel toe pokey pass through, and now there's problems. If he just dropped and did his job, he wouldn't have been able to play that pass in. And you know that mistake that I was telling you about? The other, I'm sorry, I don't know these guys' names. I'm terrible at knowing people's names in the Premier League. I really am. And a lot of the ones I do know, I just can't pronounce properly. Yeah, so, well, I can, but it's just not when I'm trying to record and do it properly. That's the issue. These two have just completely and utterly got this defensively wrong. The one guy that should be dropping has come to pressure the ball, and it's just a complete mess. Exposing that space behind, really, really easy. One touch, and now he's just looking to see what he can do to finish to beat the keeper. So I'm going to show you this here. He's got to be really quick to spot this, but right, watch this guy's feet before he strikes the ball. Okay, this is what you're watching. He goes duh, 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 duh. He does this little stutter step. I cannot stand this, right? This telegraphs what you're going to do. So obvious to goalkeepers. Used to be high-end players couldn't really get away with this because it was so obvious what they were going to do. It's one of those things that's almost impossible to coach out of a player as well when they start doing it. And the other problem you have, it's like a subconscious thing where it takes them so much longer to actually kick the ball. It puts them in a bad situation. It creates problems. You'll see players doing it before they hit. Watch what he does here. And why they're doing this is because they're trying to adjust their feet to the ball. All right, it's the standing foot is the most important foot when you're kicking a ball. If that foot's aligned correctly, the ball goes in the goal. You hear people like saying, oh, he didn't get his knee over the ball. Utter nonsense. His standing foot is too far away from the ball. That's caused his knee not to be over the ball. If his standing foot is alongside the ball, his knee is always over the ball. There's never an issue. So there's loads of little things that people get wrong in football, but this is one of those things where you can see, look, watch this little stutter step. Watch this, watch this. Do you see that? Boom, 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 boom. As he's looking and he's trying to get there. And the only reason he's able to get away with that is because he's got so much time and space. Normally he wouldn't be able to. There'd be somebody a little bit closer and he wouldn't be able to pull off this really good finish and slot it into the corner. It's a good finish. It is a good finish. So this is actually a pretty poor by I was going to say Crystal Palace, but it's Fulham. So I want you to watch this guy here. I want you to watch this little nonchalant flick as it goes out. But there's a bit of build-up play with these two cats over here, and then they end up getting the ball over to Gomez, who misses the shot. But this is going to be basically a carbon copy of what they end up doing to score the goal. And they keep getting exposed. Like, this is the thing about game management and noticing something that's going wrong. And it's probably Adama Traore's responsibility to come back in and help, and he's not doing it. That's most likely the scenario. But when you see it happen, and they show you a highlight of them almost scoring, and then 10 minutes later they score, you're just like going, are the coaches actually watching the game of football, or are they just there picking up a paycheck, doing their little team sheet, doing the subs at 60 minutes? Like, are you coaching this game? Because as soon as that happens and identify, you're going to go, well, we make sure that doesn't happen again. And what do we fix? We either fix the ball coming across or the guy being exposed completely free on the back post. There's a couple of different variables that you can fix. Sometimes you're going to go, well, we can't fix the ball coming in because they're just better than us, because this little guy here comes in, dump, little bit, creative. Okay, look, we're trying to do the right things, but they're just beating us here. So what we need to make sure that we don't do is leave the player exposed on the back post completely unmarked. We can deal with that because we've got a player here who's not doing his job, and we can make sure that he fights for the ball and makes Gomez's, whoever's striking the ball's job a little bit harder, because we're just getting beat here. Sometimes the players are just better than you on that side, and you just, okay, we'll take that one on the chin because we can fix the other one easily. For us to fix this is in game is too difficult. For us to fix that in game is really, really easy. Go mark your player. Oh, okay. That's simple. Here, well, you're getting caught out with a little bit of trickery. They're sucking you in. They're opening up the space behind because one of you's going too deep, and you've got an extra covering midfielder who's not coming across the cover properly. So you're pressuring too quick. How are you going to explain all of that in the ongoing game? You're not. But what you can do is say, hey, go mark that player. So as the balls come across, you can see they've set this up so everyone goes and one runs in behind. Little flick, blonk, donk, touches it, and he blasts it over. But let's move it on because we're going to show you the goal in a minute. There's a couple of shocking moments here from Fulham, but first of all, we're going to show you, I don't know what this is the tackle. Right, when you're in this situation, you're facing this way, but you're going that way. So you're not really defending. So you need to be here, and that's where you try to tackle. If you try to tackle him when you're here, he's just going to turn around and run away from you. Oh, that's what he does. Like, what are you doing? He's just going to go, what are you doing? It's moronic. Yeah, but that's what happens. And then we played one of my new favourite players. I'm going to have to learn his name. I think he's really quality. His footwork here is brilliant. He suckers both these two players in and releases the overlapping run for the cross. It's a carbon copy identical to what just happened a second ago, except for they were a little bit closer here doing the cross from here. Now they're a little bit further away with a little bit more space. But everything else is pretty much identical. Look, watch this. Comes in, bump, bump, bump. Do you see that? Drags it in, flicks it out. Takes two players out of the game. Bam. Same problem again. Two players trying to win one ball. The space in behind is exposed, and that's where the ball's played. Watch where the cross is going. It's almost crossed from the identical same area. Same players coming in and leaving the back post exposed, pulling the defenders in the exact same way. Watch this as it goes across. There it goes. Bump. Doesn't really kind of get onto the end of it. Now, here's the other funny thing in football. What happens is, oh, it's not identical. He didn't flick it or head it. Yeah. But the scenario is the same. Everything is happening the exact same. Two players are attacking the ball, and it ends up to the player on the back post that's unmarked. And he just smashes it into the goal. He's not taking any prisoners this time. Takes a touch. Oh, no, he doesn't. He smashes it straight in. There you go. Easy as can be. I'm going to show you a couple of other little things as well, because Wolves could have actually scored another goal, but they didn't use. So I'm not sure who the Wolves guy is there who crossed the ball. He's done a pretty good job linking up with that number 3 out there on that side. But then he just doesn't. I'm going to show you the overlapping run, and if he just gives it back to him, they're going to create the exact same scenario and probably get themselves another goal. I'm going to show you that in a second. Last week, I think Traore figured out how to cross the ball. It might have been the week before, actually, and got 2 assists. did very well, but he's back to his old ways of just smashing the ball as hard as he can at the goalkeeper, hoping something changes. No, this guy on the back post just put it to him. Here we are. There's my little number 3. Brilliant. There he is. He's going to pass the ball and he's going to do an overlap, right? So obviously I can't play all the clip of the entirety, so I'm just going to move it forward as much as I can. Starts running, look, beats his player there, cuts it, knocks it out to the wide and busts along on the overlap. Absolutely superb. Follows his pass, helps out his teammate. All his teammates got to do is give it back to him, because look at the back post again. They're all queuing up. That's all you've got to do. It almost worked first time. You missed it. Gomez kind of knocked it over. You got it second time. Now do it a third time. You know it's working. Instead, player cuts inside and then just smashes it at the goal for absolutely no reason. And you know, you see number 3, absolutely furious. Just roll it to him. He dinks the ball into the back post, and you get yourself another goal. He didn't. Okay, this is utter terrible coaching. Okay, and the reason I say this is because look, I've coached this game way too long, and the progression of players happen when you stay with teams and stuff. You see things happen for a certain amount of time. You can identify why things are going wrong. Okay, so what you're looking at is, here's the space, right? That's the space. So here's the ball. Sounds all simple, right? What I'm saying, you've got a player marking a player. Okay, so this guy has to go to him because, well, that makes sense. There's a player and you follow the player. Watch what happens. Touches the ball, right? He immediately panics. Do we see that? For the ball in behind. He's immediately trying to defend something that isn't happening yet. Okay, and the reason players do that is because that's what they're coached to do. They're coached to do situation A. Well, situation A isn't happening. To actually concentrate on the game and play what's in front of you and what you're seeing isn't such a thing anymore, because there's so much structure in football. I've told stories about players that are absolutely fantastic and never go anywhere because they're never allowed to use their skill in the academy, because if they lose the ball, they get kicked off the team. Right? It happens at all levels. So he's running and panicking for the ball in behind, so he doesn't, get exposed, and he ends up exposing his entire team. So here's the other problem. If you're looking at sports analysts and analytics, no one is going to understand that this is the problem here. This is the problem. They're all going to blame this guy here or the goalkeeper coming out too far. This is the initial problem. This is where it all starts, because you can see the pocket of space. Right, actually, he can see the pocket of space. He has got no intention of trying to close that pocket of space down, which again is shocking. He can see this player's running into it. More importantly, he was right next to him, man marking. Now watch what he does here. Watch what he does. Boom, 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 boom. Look at how far away he runs and how much space this guy's got. Now all of a sudden, he's panicking, going, wait, what? You've run away from the player that you were marking. Now I've got to come across over here, run 15 yards, and what are you doing? So now he gets to receive the ball on the turn, have a little turn, look at where he was. Who's he marking? But he's told to be in his system and his shape and cut that out. And he hasn't even read or understood what was going on in the game, because he doesn't know. He doesn't know. And what they'll say is, oh, yeah, but if he's gone to the ball there, he's going to play a 1-2 with that. Yeah. And then what? Yeah, then he's going to track him and we've got a chance to defend it. If you've just let him because it is the final third, right? It's not really. It'll be zone, whatever they'll call it, zone 2. I hate the way that they break everything up into zones and areas, and they do the little cross, and this is zone 16, and it's actually down there, but but now he's just looking for a through ball. That's what he's looking to do. Can he release his mate? Oh, he's got all the time in the world. Nobody can get anywhere near him. Oh, except for him, who was right there all along. Now it's just a through ball in behind, which is honestly, it's a quality ball as well. I mean, he really does play a good pass here, but he just gets the time and the space to do it, which makes it so easy for him. Now, the keeper's absolutely and utterly in no man's land, and this is a great finish, to be fair, because I've watched it a couple of times, and he doesn't really look up to see where the keeper is. He just finishes it. It is just a flick. He does such a good job finishing it. Just bump over the keeper, gets a winning goal. Quality finish, but you can all see it from that one mistake when the right back doesn't go with his man, doesn't go in. Yeah, he's going to leave himself exposed, but you know what he's got a chance of doing? Winning the football. And also, when he's that close, he can stop the pass in behind because he's there to intercept it. Instead, he runs away, opens up the whole midfield for them to turn and just take his team apart. And no one will even comment about how bad that was because they're so focused about the centre-back isn't quite tight enough and the goalkeeper shouldn't be out. None of that matters because that mistake will happen week in, week out of him not understanding when to go with the player, when to drop back into shape and systems. Because I'll tell you what's not going to happen week in, week out is that world-class pass and that world-class finish. Yeah, that right back, dodgy. I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football.